What's good, Outlaws? It's your boy, the True 777. And as I said, I want to come back and talk about Xbox. Now, we all understand and know that Xbox is moving away from the console space and becoming a third party publisher primarily. You know what I mean? They will have a PC with the Xbox brand in, but we all know that will not be a part of the brand. And if that doesn't fare too well, and it doesn't have to just be Microsoft that's like, hey, it has to fare this well for it to succeed. The other companies could be like, "Oh, these Xbox PCs aren't moving," and so therefore they move on, right? Or it could blow up and it could be the next greatest thing. I couldn't tell you. I don't really care. At the end of the day, I will say that Xbox for sure is most likely to be primarily third party more than anything else, and that is what they're going for. I think they'll continue to try to progress to be kind of like some kind of stable ecosystem. However that works is how it works. But um I haven't cared about Xbox factually since the 360. You know what I mean? Like their first party games don't move me, and that's the primary reason I don't play on Xbox. If the third party games I can get on PlayStation, and like most of the Xbox third party deals don't really move me either. So if it, my the third party majority of third parties that everybody is interested in and that I'll probably want to, be a part of that crowd is already on PlayStation, then I have no reason to go to Xbox. If your third party, second party indie games that you have exclusively don't move me, I have no reason to go to Xbox. I don't care about Game Pass. Fine, if you think it's the greatest value in gaming, that's great. I would just prefer that Xbox fan base would, fanboy base would just say for them. You know what I mean? And not that it's the greatest value in gaming. Because if you don't care about any of those games, then it's not the greatest value in gaming. And secondly, um, you know, for me, PlayStation has PlayStation now. You know what I mean? Or PlayStation Plus. And it's comparable. You know what I mean? No, it doesn't have the first party games, but again, none of them first party games move me. So, that's that. But what I will say is I feel like Xbox, I don't know. I don't know what happened or why it happened, but I felt like when they bought those companies and they said they were going to continue to buy publishers and more studios, I was just like, oh, this is going to extremely hurt PlayStation. You know what I mean? And I wasn't, pressed for that to happen, but I could see the writing on the wall. I wasn't confused going, oh, PlayStation is going to be okay. Now, I thought this was going to be them not putting dents in armor, but literally slicing holes and you know what I'm saying, cutting their armor open. Now, do I think that PlayStation would have died? No, but do I think that PlayStation would have been severely hurt, especially with the um, incorrect and dumb decisions they made this generation? 100%. For me, I was like, yo, Xbox got them one. You know what I mean? And it was good for them, but they chose to go into the direction they went into at this current juncture, and so therefore, they in fact helped PlayStation stay at the top. You know what I mean? And didn't take any market share or didn't garner any market share, and that to me is mismanagement and the mistakes that they made at the beginning. But the greatest thing I'll say for Xbox, just like I explained for PlayStation, the biggest issue with Xbox is specifically that the fact that they had the Series S. You know what I mean? I know for people in the back of the classroom, the darks in them who crowd, there's nothing wrong with the Series S, whatever. I'm talking about what you heard from somebody else. I'm talking about what I'm talking about. So I don't care if you heard some other person say this or say that. I'm talking about me, right? And it's specifically not that the Series X is not a comparable machine. No, the Series X is a comparable machine. The biggest issue with the Series X isn't that it can't handle or do the things it said it was going to do. It's done everything it said it was going to do at lower resolutions or whatever. It didn't do exactly what they said it was going to do, and let's not be stupid. But is able to run the games, right? The quote unquote next gen games. Here was the major issue. It takes a very long time to get everything not to quality, but to a decent standard on the Series X. And we know this. How? Isn't because I have no insiders or anything like that. It's very simple. It's specifically because the Xbox first party studios are always struggling to get their games out on time. Almost every single one of their games have been delayed. Okay, Redfall, Starfield, Halo. And I don't think it's because the games were bad or anything like that. I don't, even though I don't care about them. I hope you enjoyed them. That's it. It's not an argument if the game is good or bad. That's personal preference. It's because they had to have an equal, share on the Series X, and I think that was the major cause of their games coming out at 30. I think that's the major cause of them games getting delayed. Wasn't the Series X? Excuse me, I said Series X, Series S. If I said Series X for several minutes, I meant Series S. It was the Series S. The time it takes to optimize and get games at a fairly I don't know what you want to say, running well on the Series S takes time. And it's still that way to this day. You know what I mean? Like if Fable got delayed, and I truly believe it's because of the Series S. You know what I mean? Again, will the Fable come out, be fine, work well on the Series S? Sure. Would it be like anything like Series X or PlayStation or PC? Fudge no. But will it be uh can it work? Yes. Can any game work on a Series S? Yes. But the issue is, do you put in all that work because Xbox forces you to have that parity with the Series S and X? Do you put all that work into the game to not sell that much? You know what I mean? Especially if you're not getting an amazing Game Pass deal. So that I think was the absolute bona fide fall of Xbox, not Game Pass, not anything else. And I don't believe Game Pass to be profitable. I don't care what Xbox is talking about. I don't think Xbox has any idea of how to rate or tell you if Game Pass is profitable at this current juncture, considering that they say, hey, we need this many people by 2027, and they ain't even remotely close to that within almost going on 8 years now. You know what I mean? Like they're moving into 8 years, and they still don't have anywhere close to the subscribers that they need. And a lot of the new subscribers came from specifically them turning Xbox Gold members into Game Pass members, which is nothing wrong with that. I have no problem with that. That's a smart move. I think moving everybody over and kind of forcing everybody to uh assimilate into Game Pass so that they can see what Game Pass is about and all that stuff was a great and very smart way of going about it. So I don't um I don't like have any qualms with what Xbox is doing. I definitely do believe Xbox will just eventually be a fully third party like Sega. Like this putting our names on things isn't going to hold any weight, especially since they're doing it in such a trash way, like putting their name on the MetaQuest without having any actual real functionality or usage for it to be on there. Them having a PC that's probably just going to be a PC and just try to push you to Windows. And I think Windows gaming will be 100% straight. I don't have any I know Xbox, the actual Xbox officially will eventually, like honestly and truly die. The console. Make sure I'm saying it specifically. The console will go the way of the dodo bird. But and that's fine. I think game wise they'll be fine. I think game wise they'll be able to make their mark and make their money. And for that, Microsoft Gaming will always be there and do very well. Same like Sega. I think they'll be happier in that space when they go there. I think they will uh, progress greatly. And I would like to hope coming out of this, Steam comes out with their own console, and and Nintendo continues to get back into the high market industry with their games and keep PlayStation in check. You know what I mean? And that's just it. I didn't really have much to say on Xbox. There's a lot of things I could talk about fanboy wise on Xbox, but it's kind of useless. You know what I mean? Uh, if Fable got delayed to 2027, it is what it is. Doesn't mean it's anything wrong with the game or that it's bad. Considering that is my favorite Xbox game, you know what I'm saying? I'm a whole way to that. Outside of that, man, I don't have that much to say. As far as Xbox goes itself, they still haven't really made anything that moved me. South by Midnight is a guaranteed play for sure. I will guaranteedly buy it at some point. at full price that it is when I buy it. I won't even look for a sale, but I just haven't had a reason to get Game Pass or Xbox. South by Midnight is not enough to pull me. Um, but I do appreciate and respect that game, even though I didn't get a chance to play it. Anytime they have a lot of black characters or they black lead, male, female, and have some more diversity in it, I'm definitely going to look forward to playing it. You know what I mean? I platinum Zao, and I'm going to continue to support my people in the games, whether bad or good, just because. You know what I mean? That's just me. You can be mad, glad, scratch your ass. I can really care less. Um, but yeah, man, Xbox just, they're doing their thing, they're shifting, they're trying, they're tonally shifting, they're constantly on a pivot. I don't think they have any footing on exactly what they want to do. As in, like, I don't think they're like firm about anything. I think they're ready to pivot at any given time for anything that doesn't work, and just at the end of the day, fall back on the fact that they can just always just go to third party and be fine there. Um, they've been making solid games, quality games for a little while now. They've got the ball rolling. I'm very proud of them. Still, like I said, they don't have enough to move me. Like I said, South by Midnight, Forza Motorsport, sure. I mean, not Motorsport, Forza Horizon, 100%. I give a lot of love for that game. Love Gran Turismo, but to have that arcadey Need for Speed Midnight Club type game with that Gran Turismo level of visuals is great. And then that Clockwork Revolution looks interesting. I mean, it's really the first person shooters are really not my thing, but that looks interesting. And of course, Fable. Can't wait for that. um, and any other games they may present or show, because they got enough power in studios and publishers, and I'm pretty sure Microsoft is not done uh with buying up studios and things of that nature, considering that um if they become a third party publisher, then they can at least fall back on a way, hey, we're the number one publisher. We couldn't win in the console market, couldn't get the putting our names on things to fly, Xbox Anywhere and all that BS. But what we did take over is the simple fact that, hey, we are the number one publisher, i.e., excuse me, what Activision was in the first place. And now we're the number one publisher, beyond compare, no matter what. So I think Xbox fans have to look forward to that. All of them move to PC eventually without having an Xbox brand, and just be happy there. You know what I mean? Because then you could just talk down to anybody saying, "Oh, hey, PC is just so great," blah blah blah. Even though I wouldn't touch PC unless I literally absolutely had to. I literally will play on the phone before I play on the PC. I'm just being honest. I don't care what no PC person talking about. Don't want to hear it. That's just my opinion. It doesn't hurt your feelings. It doesn't change that your PC is whatever you want it to be, better, 100 times better, and that I'm a peasant, whatever. I don't give a flying. I'm trying to tell you, mothers, I don't care. But if you want to comment it and get your rocks off, do your thing. At the end of the day, uh, Xbox is moving in a way that they're just trying to find their way. They're going to find their way as a third party. That's my opinion, not a fact. I think Game Pass is going to be here to stay, just like PlayStation Now or PlayStation Plus. But I do truly believe that Game Pass is going to be something totally different, and all that greatest value in the game is going to go out of the window when you're paying like $40-$50 a month to play their first party games or whatever. You know what I mean? And them holding a lot of the publishing power and all that stuff. I think a lot of y'all are going to, backtrack on how y'all push Game Pass so great and Microsoft is so consumer friendly, and then they punch y'all in the mouth, you know, relatively probably in the next 2 to 3 years, to be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I truly believe in the next 2 or 3 years, y'all ain't gonna be crying about Game Pass is the greatest value in gaming. Y'all gonna be like, man, I wish I didn't push that narrative. So that's all I got to say about Xbox. Next up will be Nintendo. I'll try to get that video out as soon as possible and I'm gonna get this channel moving. Like I said, get y'all in here and get y'all hating and talking your junk. And I'm gonna keep talking about what I want to talk about. I think after I do Nintendo, uh, I'm going to definitely talk about the rap scene for sure. Jim Jones, Nas, Joyner Lucas, like everything, battle rap, all that, and then probably my next episode behind that will be about One Piece.